This is Marquivas Furious Nias, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
Hey, this is Ella Reed, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
Hello, wherever you are in the world. Deeper Than Music. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. I like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on all the platforms that we're on. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker. And they have a very special treat. Actually, this weekend, or actually Oscar night, I had the honor of attending Fashion Designer Sala, and the person that I'm about to introduce was also in attendance. I'm pretty sure she's going to be a household name, a very beautiful person on the inside and out. She was on the cover. She was placed in the Maxim Contest from Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Supermodel Rising Sherry Nelson here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Sherry, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for being on. So here it's a little chilly. So we're kind of in that weird spot in Dallas Fort Worth where it's cold, and then one day it'll be 70, next day it'll be wet in the 30s. But I see that you're from Canada, so I imagine it must be extremely cold where you are in Canada.
It's not bad right now. We're minus 5 degrees Celsius, so it's still chilly, but not as cold as it can get.
Wow, you said minus 5 in Texas, minus 5. Nobody's coming outside.
Well, I think you're Fahrenheit, so I think it's not as cold as that. But no, it's still cold.
Oh, okay. Any snow on the ground, or anything like that?
Yeah, quite a bit. You'd love it if you could see it on the mountains right now. It's quite beautiful.
Wow. So you were a finalist for a Maxim Magazine contest. That's correct?
Yes. I finished in the top 4.
Wow. And for the top 4, what were like the honors like for being top 4?
It was just the top honor went to the winner, and a very beautiful young lady, and it was just vying for the top spot. But for me, I was fortunate to actually pick up some really nice people as friends and now co-workers as I made my way to the top 4.
Wow. So I also mentioned that you grew up in Canada, but you grew up in a small town. So what was that experience like, growing up in a small town in Canada?
Well, I'm from the west of Canada. I'm in British Columbia in the southeast corner. We're about 40 miles north of Montana. Growing in a small town, anybody knows that everybody knows everybody. With that, I think you take on somewhat of a family element. When things are great, everybody's out to celebrate. But if there's a tough time, people come together. So it's a beautiful human experience growing up in a small town. It keeps you quite rooted, and it keeps you wanting to always help people and hope everything is good in your surrounding area.
Wow. And what was the population of the area that you lived in?
I worked in, I lived in a small town, about 80 people where I am, and then that's within another smaller town where there's probably about 400 people. But where I live, there's several lakes, so in the summer it could balloon to about 3,000 people from, the Calgary area and more west of us as well. So it's kind of a resort area. You would love it if you could come see it.
Wow. So I actually, I work, not just podcasting, I work in the aviation community, and I had the pleasure of actually spending a couple trips in Calgary. I did some work with WestJet. So, got to go to Banff, and I'm familiar with Calgary. So yeah, that area, I imagine where you are from is beautiful. If it's not too far from Calgary. Calgary is definitely a nice area. You also were a lumber trader for a profession.
Yes, yes. Coming from British Columbia, we have amazing forestry. Where I lived, we were blessed with really great timber. But I was fourth generation in our family that was involved with our lumber company. It was Galloway Lumber. And yes, I did all the sales for our company. Being as close as we are to the border, about 90% of our sales was done in the United States. So I have a lot of really wonderful connections and that I've made throughout my career in lumber. So a lot of our wood actually went into your area, into Texas. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So growing up in a small town of 80 people and then also being a lumber trader, did you know that you wanted, like at a young age, did you know that you wanted to be a model and be in modeling?
I think I did, but I never thought it would ever be possible, just the logistics. But I think every young girl, we look at the cover of magazines and you see the beautiful ladies and the women on there. And it just, I think we all would like to look as beautiful as that one day and be where everybody would have access to seeing you. But, coming from a small town, you seem more like an outsider looking in. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. And I'd imagine, this was probably, the Maxim experience was probably beyond your wildest dreams. How did all of this take place? Like, could you walk me through the beginning to you being a contestant? Like, how did this opportunity come to fruition?
Well, I had some photos taken by the great Isaiah Mays and Alexis, God bless her, who passed away a year ago. Her and Michelle Vanderhoel did my makeup, and someone had seen a photo of me and asked if I would like to participate in the contest. Initially, I didn't think I could because generally some contests are only for American citizens, but I thought I would, but I didn't know that it would go as far as it did. I thought I would just be in and out and just say that I entered it and that was that. But fortunately, people seemed to like my photo and it went all the way to the finals over a period of months.
Wow. And that's crazy. And you probably were like, I can't, as you're, getting into the finalists, you probably were in awe and didn't believe it, correct? Or just like, wow, this is actually happening.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm usually, I'm not comfortable selling myself, but I remember a few friends saw it and they put it up on Facebook and I thought, take it down. And then, the great Ronnie James from Hot Rock TV, he saw it and he posted it and then it just kind of took a life of its own. So, I just went with it. But again, it was shocking and very surprising for me.
Wow. And I wanted to ask, how has your life changed since the Maxim, the whole Maxim magazine exposure and being a finalist? How's it changed from being from a small town to now?
Well, I've been traveling quite a bit in the United States. As you mentioned, who knew less than a year leaving lumber sales, I would be at an Oscar party. Throughout the contest, as I had mentioned previously, Ronnie James was very kind to me. He and I will be working on some projects together for his Global Galaxy Network. April 25th, I'll be in Hawaii for their Spam Jam Festival, which
Wow.
anybody and everybody can attend, which will be a lot of fun if you can make it. And then there's David Zucker from My Jam Radio, and he and I are working also on a project called myhemptv.com, where we'll be talking about the benefits of hemp without the THC, but anything that is beneficial to humans, to animals, for your garden. It'll be wonderful. And it'll also provide an option for people to be able to purchase the products, almost like an educational forum / shopping channel of the products that we will be discussing on the show.
Wow. And out of all this experience, like so far, what has been like the coolest? You probably like, I can't believe this is happening right now. What has been the coolest experience that you've had so far in your career?
Well, I think it's simply anybody that reaches out to me that would like me to work with them. I'm in awe of that. And of course, meeting Jimmy Starr, meeting Eileen Shapiro.
Oh, yeah.
they're so wonderful. They're very good people. They're so kind to me, and just their energy is infectious. And if anyone could be in their circle, you would understand what I mean.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually, shout out to Jimmy Star, Eileen, and Ron Russell. Jimmy Star reached out to me out of the blue, and then next thing you know, like you, I'm at the Suwong Oscar Gala, and you said these are like genuine, the friendliest people you could ever meet in the world, and like you, I'm so thankful to meet them. So I completely understand what you're talking about, meeting them in person. And back to the Suwong event, like, what did you think of the Oscar Gala? I mean, I thought it was an amazing experience.
Oh, it was fantastic. The way that it was presented, it was, the forum alone was beautiful. But when she mixed her designs with that music that was playing, the strength of the bass and the sounds, it was inviting to anybody, not just the females and our desire to love fashion, but the men were, invited with that sound and strong bass. And the food was wonderful. Just the atmosphere was great. Coming from lumber, when I would go to conventions, we're trying to anticipate lumber futures, building permits. But to be in that room filled with all these creative minds of wanting to go forward and develop projects, it was very inspiring.
Yeah, it was. It was star-studded, and the fashion, the culture, and just all those people there. Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. I also wanted to ask, on the flip side, in your career or at any during time, what has been like the most difficult part or aspect of what you're doing?
The most difficult part for me is actually getting photos of myself, talking about myself. I can sell lumber, so this is very new to me to try to talk about myself. Maybe it's a Canadian thing, but I think we're very humble, or maybe it's my family thing where I would rather talk to you about you than me about me. So I think that is the most difficult, coming out of my shell that way.
Yeah, because it seems like you were, you're in a small town doing lumber trading, and now, like the fashion industry, Maxim magazine, now you're out there. So at any given time, did you feel like nervous, or because I imagine to be in that spectrum, it takes a lot of confidence, and to come from a small town and then bam, was there a little bit of shell shock or anything like that?
Getting on the plane and flying down, I was nervous, but once I landed and Eileen was staying at the same hotel as she introduced me to some really wonderful people that gave me comfort. Billy Hess, the photographer, he's amazing. Yeah. At the dinner, I sat next to Lee Garrick, and he was so kind to me. So just talking to people and just the kindness of people, they were very nice to me and made me feel more at home. Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask, like, who are your influences? Who influences Sherry Nelson?
Growing up, it's always, you look close by. So of course it's my father. He's a very, very kind, very intelligent man. He's very principled and honest. But beyond that, I'm always intrigued and drawn towards very strong women, women of courage. Just on the outside, you think of J-Lo and her Super Bowl performance a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
At 50 years old, she is not 50. She just, age is not a number, but she set the bar high for future halftime shows. So I just love that and strength, and she works hard, and it just proves you work hard, you be good, you'll go places. Just, keep moving forward. And she's a true inspiration for anybody of any age.
Yeah, her Super Bowl performance, her and Shakira, it was definitely phenomenal. And so now you have this career. What would be your dream gig or dream job?
Well, it's been amazing that people would consider wanting to take my photo. So it's been really nice to have that happen, but perhaps to travel to exotic locations for that. to participate in fashion shows, anything to do with fashion and runway. But I also really enjoy speaking with people, talking to people as much as your show. Your show is wonderful because it goes deeper than the music. And it's always, nice to learn different stories of people about different avenues to pursue certain goals you may have or didn't know you had, but you wouldn't mind trying. So it's always nice to, learn every day and do that through communication.
Wow. And you mentioned like an exotic location to do a shoot. Where would that location be?
As a Canadian, anything with sun, palm trees, and the ocean.
Oh, there you go. So that could be like Fiji, Tahiti.
Yeah,
a bunch of places. Yeah. No, I hear you on that. Especially, we're in the wintertime right now. So,
yeah.
So 2020, what does the future hold for Sherry Nelson?
2020, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be doing myhemptv.com with David Zucker. So I hope people look for that, and I hope it's something that they enjoy. And coming up April 25th, I'll be in Hawaii, and I'll be working with Hot Rock TV and Global Galaxy Network with the phenomenal Ronnie James. So hopefully anything else more will come my way. I want to work hard and do good, and as much as I can in the short time that I have.
Wow. Yeah. And I like nothing but bright and big things for you. And, it's, I guess I'm still in awe of the fact that you come from a small town and now bam. So that's very impressive. My next question is, there's a little girl somewhere listening to this podcast or seeing you in one of your photo shoots. And she's like, I want to be like Sherry Nelson. What advice would you give to somebody that's going into fashion, into what you're doing? What advice would you give them?
I think as a little girl, I would just reinforce every day, you are blessed that you wake up. Just thank God for all the gifts that he's given you. As you grow up and you want to do modeling, I think that you don't have to sell yourself a naked self. You could if you choose to, but maybe leave a little to the imagination. But, a naked female figure is beautiful. But I just would want her to continue with her strength and her convictions and don't be pressured into something she may be uncomfortable with.
Yeah. And I think, I guess, and what's weird is, right, in this time, in this era, the things that are coming out, like Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, and I like what you said, like, don't sell yourself, right? Integrity is still a good thing, and I mean, look at you, like you've come a long way, still have integrity and doing a phenomenal job. My last question, and again, thank you for taking the time to be on Deeper Than Music Radio. Shameless promotion time. Where can people hear about what you got going on, follow you on social media, and just keep in touch with what you're doing?
I am on Facebook, Sherry Nelson, and I am on Instagram, XOXO Sherry XO, and I am also on Twitter, Sherry Nelson, or I'm sorry, Sherry N 4293983. So I'd love to see you on there.
Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, another great interview with a phenomenal person, phenomenal woman doing big things in 2020. You've heard the social media. Make sure you follow her. Sherry, thank you so much. And I hope it gets warm out there soon. I mean, well, spring's around the corner. But hey, you never know. Your next photo shoot may be in Tahiti next week,
I'll call you.
Yeah.
Do your podcast from there and we'll both be warm.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. The beautiful Sherry Nelson, special guest here on Deeper Than Music Radio. I'm Mark Nias, and Sherry Nelson, we're signing off here on Deeper Than Music.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest, deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.